Well, hello, Facebook Live. We are live today with Jim Kellner. Jim is I'm going to wait for a few people to come on. We're just going to like kibitz here a little bit because
Sounds good.
sometimes it takes a little while to get some viewers. So we don't want to really just be talking to ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, let me share it to my page too. See, can I do that? Can I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's go ahead and share to some pages here.
Uh,
And get some
all
people. We
right.
got two now. Let's see.
All
Wait,
right.
that was actually that was the in 10 minutes one. Let's make sure that we are we sharing the one? Oh, we are. Okay, this is the one. Yeah, you know what's really cool is Facebook wasn't letting us see who was commenting in Be Live the last time I did this. Oh, they're not doing it. They're not allowing it in groups. So since we're
Oh,
not in a group, okay, then we're able to see it. So hi, Peter. We got 4 people now. Okay, I think
awesome.
we're good to go. We can go ahead and start a little introduction here. So today it is my pleasure, my privilege to be with a special guest, Jim Kellner, who is going to help us learn how to live our dream life one step at a time. Isn't that cool? And he's been entertaining. He does a lot of stage hypnosis. He's been entertaining audiences for over 20 years. He's been helping thousands of people to change their lives using the power of their mind. He's a certified hypnotherapist. He's a comedy stage hypnotist. And he's a TEDx speaker, which is so cool. I actually watched your TEDx live while you were doing it, which was
Awesome.
really cool. What was that experience like?
Oh man, it was nerve-wracking.
I bet.
Even using all my NLP techniques and hypnosis and everything, I was still way stressed because you got that 18 minutes. And if I had to do it again, I would have aimed for 16 minutes,
Yes.
15 or 16. And then it was a great experience. I mean, just
We're starting to lose you a little bit, I
oh,
think. Oh, okay. You're back. All right. Hi, Margaret. We got Margaret here. So let's go ahead and find out a little bit about this whole topic of, how you got started in the field of hypnosis. Like what got you interested in hypnosis? I know, as a hypnotist, we all have our stories about how we stumbled upon this amazing power of the mind. So how did
mhm.
you stumble upon it?
I don't even remember when I was first interested. It's just been I was always interested in weird and esoteric things when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and the first I can remember like being like 17, 16 or 17, and getting a book from the library on hypnosis and trying to hypnotize my little sister, and and it didn't take. But or actually it may have. I didn't know what to expect then, and I think that's one of the problems is people have their ideas about what hypnosis is, and they don't always align with what it really is. But I took a self hypnosis class when I was in my early 20s, and then it's funny because about a year ago I actually taught a self hypnosis class just like that one, so it was pretty awesome. But it took me a long time because even though I quit smoke, I went to one of these group seminars and quit smoking with hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Although I started back a year later because I gained 60 pounds in a year
Oh
because
my
yeah,
goodness.
because there was no support, there was no follow up support because it's one of those group ones, and they say you can come back to them whenever we're in town again, but they don't tell you when they're going to be back in town again. So if ever. So anyway, I started back again, but it was still, I was sort of in this kind of place where I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know if this really works or not, because honestly, it seems magical. It seems fantastical. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally went to school for it, got certified in the year 2000, and then started practicing right away about 10 years later.
Right away, 10 years later.
Yeah, because I let all that fear get in the way. Whatever. Or is that, yeah, it was, about 2010, I guess. Let all that fear get in the way. I mean, what if they don't get hypnotized? Is this real? And all those kind of BS things that we tell ourselves.
Right, right. So that was. So what did you do in the meantime while you were, you had become certified, and then waited 10 years? Like what was going on while you were waiting?
Right about the same time I got the certification for hypnotherapy, I also went to massage school. So I was a massage therapist
Okay.
for quite a while. And then I taught massage, and then I did some acting stuff and started doing stand up. And I've always been interested in the performing arts, so I was doing a lot of that stuff. And then finally, it was funny. I literally, it's funny how we talk about how powerful, setting your goals are. And I wrote down, I said, I don't remember the exact wording, but I was sitting there one time, and I'd taken off a bunch of weight because I started using hypnosis, and I took off a bunch of weight. I was 270 pounds, and I hated my life and everything. And I started using hypnosis, just taking some small steps, walking every day and eating a few vegetables every day. And then I wrote, after I dropped down about 50 pounds, I wrote I said I could probably help other people. So I wrote this goal. One of my goals I wrote was, in 6 months, I'm a practicing hypnotherapist. And I tell you what, 4 months later, I got hired at a clinic, and I was doing hypnotherapy full time.
That is great. That is awesome. Yeah.
Very cool.
So we're going to kind of break down, I guess, the steps between, having this intention, having something that you really, really want to achieve, and figuring out, what are those steps to living your dream life? I mean, was that a dream for you when you wrote that down? Was it the life that you had been kind of wanting to live?
Yeah. And I had originally thought, because I'd gone to massage school and I learned about the body and everything, I was really interested in the body-mind connection. And I had planned on doing more of that, but then I fell in love with hypnosis so much and all the other aspects. I sort of just left massage behind. I haven't practiced in, 5 or 6 years, massage, professionally. I still massage, my friends and everything. And,
right.
Had it been like this, it was one of those goals that I just wanted to be able to help people somehow.
Yeah.
And I knew that that I wanted to do, I wanted to be like an Anthony Robbins or something, like the funny Anthony Robbins is what I wanted to be.
Right.
And so that was one of my big goals. Yeah.
There's a lot of crossover between hypnotherapists and massage. And, wouldn't you say that when you have somebody on your massage table, and I know you don't do it anymore, but back in the day, I mean, in a way, it is like you have them in trance.
Oh, you do. Yeah. And I actually did I called it, hypno massage. And I had a few people that were like regulars that I would talk them through it, do a progressive relaxation and, breathe now and then just relax. And, and they loved it, and I could have I want to develop that more, but I sort of lost interest in that part. And I just really wanted to focus on the mental part.
Yes. Yes. So what were some of your biggest challenges when you were getting started in the business?
Well, one of the biggest ones was before I really started was the idea of it just seems too good to be true. This can't be real, and it's funny because I had a consultation with somebody a couple months back, and she said, if there was just some research to back it up, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. And I'm like, research? There's volumes of research, but nobody knows. That's the thing. I mean, you tell people that there's been research done at least since the 60s. We got Harvard and Stanford have been conducting studies. I mean, all universities all across the world, and still people are like, oh, I don't believe in that stuff. Well, I don't believe in gravity, but I still fall down. You know what I mean? So, it's science. It's based in science, and it was just ridiculous. I didn't know about the studies. I think as hypnotherapists and hypnotists, I think we've done a bad job of not getting the information out there.
I agree. I agree. And, any hypnotist that, like they want to sometimes skate around the name hypnosis and call it
Mhm.
something else. I kind of think that's selling out what we do,
Yeah.
because, we want this to be something that is the first thing that people think of rather than the last resort. By the time they
Yes.
come into the office or they decide, oh, I'm going to get hypnotized, they've already kind of been conditioned that, well, nothing works and this is just my last resort.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because when I first moved to Phoenix, about 4 or 5 years ago, everybody kept. I'm not going to say his name because I don't, but somebody kept asking me, "Oh, do you know this guy?" He's really famous, or was at least in the '90s, and I think a lot of people still remember. He did a lot of infomercials, and so I was like, I got to meet this guy, and
Mm-hmm.
so I set up an appointment. I went and met the guy, and he says, I don't even call it hypnosis because people are too afraid of it. I call it guided meditation, and
Mm-hmm.
that's sort of what it is anyway. It's just we're giving suggestions, at the same
Exactly.
time.
Yes.
But it is so funny that people, oh, this is my last resort. It could be your first resort, and you'd be done with it.
Exactly. I mean, like rather than having to fight it and, go to
Yeah.
years and years of therapy, you can get your problem fixed within, a few short sessions.
Totally. Yeah. It's so fun. And people are always, one of the things that frustrates me too is they're like, well, what if it doesn't? In fact, somebody just said this, well, does it work all the time? I said, nothing works all the time.
Right.
Nothing. Chemotherapy doesn't work all the time. Surgery doesn't work all the time. Psychotherapy doesn't work all the time. And yet people are spending thousands, risking their lives, literally risking their lives for medical treatments that are maybe 70% effective. And, and they think, well, hypnosis, is it 100%? Nothing is. Nothing is
Right.
100%. But I do find that it helps most everybody. In fact, I've only had 2 people ever that followed all of my instructions, and were not successful. If
Right.
people follow the instructions, and it's not like, well, just don't smoke. It's like if you get the amount of treatments that I recommend, you do the follow up and everything, everyone's successful. It's only when they
Right.
drop off the plan that they become unsuccessful.
Exactly. Well, and it's when a person thinks that it's just waving a magic wand over the
Right.
situation. And it's an exercise. I mean, you're exercising your brain. You're working with the hypnotist, accepting the suggestions,
Mhm.
implementing the things that the hypnotist says to do, and just follow. It's following step by step, like you say. So it's really interesting, because there's so many misconceptions out there. We can go on and on and on about
Right.
the
Yeah.
the misconceptions. So I get that was part of your challenge was just overcoming that and getting the verbiage and learning how to um, invite people into this world without disguising it as something else.
Yeah.
I think
But
good for you.
but also I'll tell you, as far as my personal some of my personal challenges was fear of failure. I mean, I just oh, what if I open up a clinic and it doesn't work, or what if this, or what if that, what are my friends going to think of me, and I mean, just all these stupid things that get in the way of God, just living a life, that's meaningful. It's really
Right,
frustrating.
right, right.
Fear, it's the worst.
So, what do you tell people? Let's kind of move into a little bit of the nitty gritty. So, we want to live our dream life, but so you're here in your unhappy life and you have a dream life. You have a idea of what life should be like. And, sometimes having that idea of what life
Mhm.
should be like and not being in that life can make you really miserable. It can make
Yeah,
you really unhappy, frustrated, doubtful, fearful, all of
right.
those things. So what do
Yeah.
you tell that person that has this ambition to have this dream life, but they're not in it and they're just unhappy? What do you tell that person?
I'll tell them, and I can actually, the metaphor I would use for that is actually a lot of times, when I run into like a weight loss clients who are especially notorious for this. Like I remember this one lady that came in and she was about 50 pounds overweight, and her doctor said that she had to start exercising 3 times a week, 45 minutes a day. And I said, well, when was the last time you exercised? 15 or 20 years ago.
Oh my
I said,
goodness.
well, you can't go from 0 to 45. Even if I could in the hypnosis get you to do it, that would be unhealthy for you. And she was so frustrated because she's like, I've got to lose this weight now, And so I think a lot of people, they get impatient. They get this idea like, well, if I can't have it now, because we all want everything yesterday. I know people want to lose weight yesterday. They want to quit smoking yesterday, everything.
Right.
But the thing is, you can
They want to go
start
from having $10,000 in their bank account
Right.
to a millionaire.
A million, exactly. Yeah. And it's like with everything, am I living my dream life right now? Not my absolute 100% dream life, but I have a lot of aspects in it. And that's what I want to encourage people to do, is sort of, set your big goal, but then just be happy with each little triumph along the way.
Right.
And so like when I first started getting in shape, I would walk for 5 minutes. I weighed 270 pounds, and I would walk for 5 minutes around the block, and it was excruciating, physically and mentally. A year later, I jogged around this lake called Green Lake in Seattle, which had been my goal, and it was like 3.5 kilometers.
I walked around Green Lake. Yeah.
And that would have been my goal. But see, the thing is you feel better with each step. When I got up to 10 minutes, when I got up to 15 minutes, I felt better. And it's the same thing with living your dream life. Like I just did this show for 14 people, a comedy hypnosis show for 14 people night before last. And it was, the more people at a comedy hypnosis show, the better, because you've only got a few that are going to be good subjects and stuff. So I was a little nervous about it, but the show went phenomenal. And I'm driving away from there going, man, if I would have let that fear stand in my way, I wouldn't be having fun, making this kind of money, and really having a blast,
Right.
But you got to do it in steps. And I think that's the problem, is that you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to feel better about your life with every little step that you take. And I think people maybe don't realize that. They maybe not focused on that enough.
Exactly. So how do we, how do we create these steps? Like, how do we decide, what steps to take, or how to chunk that down? Like,
chunk it down. That's exactly it. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say good. But yeah. So I mean, if anybody in that's watching, if they have like something that they want to work on, we can try to brainstorm with them a little bit.
Yeah. Does anybody have any goals that they're working on, or dream life that you want to create? Chime in here. Make sure that you ask questions. We do have 5 viewers here, so don't be shy. We're here to help you to move closer to what it is that you truly want in your life.
Absolutely. So, I'll take, like I wanted to be an actor, when I was a kid, and I was too afraid to even try, and I thought I would suck at it. And of course I would have, because I hadn't done it before, that just drives me crazy now when I think about it, and I hear this all the time, like clients will say like, oh, I can't go to Zumba because I'd be terrible. Of course you'll be terrible, because you haven't done it before.
Right.
I'm not flexible enough to do yoga. Of course you're not. That's why you go to yoga, So I think what has to happen is like I wanted to be an actor, and I was afraid. And I finally, when I was like 30, I started doing it. And so like at this point, I do acting on the side. So I'm not a Brad Pitt famous actor, but I do murder mysteries, and I have a lot of fun doing it. Neat. So that's part of my dream life, is being an actor. So I don't have to be rich and famous as an actor, but I can still have fun being an actor. And so that's what I would say. Somebody wants to be an actor, I just had somebody who wants to be a stage hypnotist. And what I told him was, well, I said, first of all, I mean, I think, you can go take one of these weekend classes, or even a week-long class, but if you don't have any performance experience, you're probably going to suck at it. So why don't you, instead of spending all that money right now, I think the ideal thing would be go take some improv classes, go take some acting classes, find out what it's like to be on stage, go do a comedy open mic a few times, and get some of that in there, and then start building on that. And so so it's really going to be dependent on whatever. Oh, wait. Any advice for when you only wish to want to? I'm not sure I understand. Do you understand that?
I'm not sure. Mete, is it Mete? Can you elaborate on that a little bit on your question? Any advice for when you only wish to want to? So are you asking you, you know, that you're not sure if you want to, like how to get yourself more into the desire state of actually wanting that? Best steps to reach the deep want. So they only wish to want to, I guess.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
I mean, if
they're,
I'm, yeah, I guess if I'm, you know, there'll be a lot of soul searching, I guess. I remember, if I'm understanding it correctly, like they don't really know what they want.
mm,
Um, and I think that's sometimes we have analysis paralysis. We have all these options. What do I
oh my
want to
goodness.
do? Pick one. Just do it. Just pick one. Just go for it. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Roll a dice. You know, um, do it. I mean, it really in the thing is, and this is what I've found to be true, is is when you start working towards one goal, a lot of other goals are going to come in together. You
Oh
know,
yes.
like because you're developing. It's just like exercise, like you talk about with hypnosis. It's just like exercise because you're developing the discipline, the strength of will, the vision to be able to accomplish anything else.
And you hit a key word. I really, really do believe discipline is the key to so much of this,
Mhm.
because here's the thing. I mean, a lot of what we do has to do with our positive thinking, right?
Mhm.
But if you just allow yourself to just, be wishy-washy about what it is that you want, or if you just allow yourself to get caught up in negative thinking, you have to have the discipline to be able to stop that,
Yeah.
you
And if
know?
you don't have it, because a lot of people don't, I know. Here's the thing. I used to think that you were either born with it or you had to go to the military and they knocked it into you or something, you know.
Right. They
But the
knocked
thing
it in
is,
you.
exactly, in basic training, they knocked that into you. But what I found is it's just like a muscle. The more often that you work that self-discipline muscle, the stronger it gets. You build on the experience and you get better at
Exactly.
it. You really do.
Exactly.
You really do. So if you're one of those people like, I have no discipline, fine. I didn't have discipline either. And now I'm much more disciplined.
Yeah. Mine's kind of like it's an on or an off switch. I either have it like, and I'm gung ho and I'm,
Mhm.
like, I think you and I were doing keto at
Mhm.
the same time. I don't know if you're still doing it, but I was doing it. I don't know. I was doing it very, very, very disciplined where, I mean, literally I was doing my, 20 grams of carbs or less every day.
Mhm.
And I am like that. Like I can just focus on something and be very disciplined about it. But if I just, if I will slip into another mindset where like there's just no discipline at all.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's almost like a very conscientious mindset that I flip on or I flip off, and it's I can be very, very, very disciplined for long, long periods of time.
Uh-huh.
But then, yeah, as soon as it turns off, it's like it's off until I decide to turn it on again.
So are you still doing keto or is it turned off now?
Right now, it's like 80%
Uh,
on. It's I guess right now I'm working on my moderation skills. So
mhm.
so I would not say I'm strict keto right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm kind of in a little bit of it. How about you?
I kind of I go off on and off. I've been up in the Northwest now for the last 6 months,
Yeah.
and winters up here just kill me. I mean, they really do. When I'm in Phoenix, I'm happy to just go out for a run, and when I'm here, I'm just like I don't want to do anything, and so it's much more challenging up here.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm doing sort of a paleo approach now, going back to that. I get the keto stuff, but for me personally, I feel like the fruits and vegetables are important.
Yeah.
More fruits and vegetables. And I feel a lot better when I'm having some strawberries or a banana from time to time and things like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I've been letting myself. That's what I sort of means. Like I'm practicing a little bit more moderation with it,
Hmm.
and eating like berries. I can have berries
Hmm.
galore,
Hmm.
nothing else, no other fruit, except for I did
Hmm.
have some grapes last night. But and so the thing is that I was eating probably a little bit too much dairy on it,
Oh
and
yeah.
dairy is just like no good for you, really.
I think you're right. I think that's a thing too. When I was that I've noticed is doing more dairy, and I think I'm better with like sticking with coconut milk or something like that instead. And I should get back to that, but I'm still doing the half and half and cheese and everything. But I think like strict paleo was working pretty well for me, and then I did the keto. I mean, it's like different things work differently for, like I have clients sometimes that are like, I still eat ice cream and pizza and stuff, I just don't eat as much. And I'm like, because I'm not like that. I can't. It's like I've got to be like so strict or something. I don't know what. I probably screwed up my metabolism through dieting all those years or something. I don't
Oh,
know, but I'm not.
I can
uh,
relate. I
yeah.
can relate. Yeah, I've done. I think the best thing that ever worked for me. I did the HCG diet about
Oh wow.
five,
Hmm.
6 years ago. I did it for like 40 days. I mean, 42 days strict. Talk about
Wow.
being extremely disciplined
Yeah.
and 500 calorie a day.
Right.
And it was very, very strict. I got myself down. I lost, I don't know, probably about 25 pounds on that in 42 days. So
Mhm.
it's the best I ever looked.
Yeah.
But,
Right on.
a couple of years, later, it started kind of creeping back up again. So that was no fun. But so getting back to this step-by-step approach. So let's just say you have a goal.
Mhm.
Let's see, what is my goal? What is my goal? Okay, my goal, let's just we'll use me for an example.
Okay.
My goal is to starting in 2019, I want to do more paid speaking engagements. I want to
Mm.
be a TEDx. I want to be a TEDx speaker,
Nice. Yeah.
and I want to be on TEDx, and I want to have at least one or two paid speaking engagements a month. So, what would you tell me?
All right. Well, are you doing a lot of speaking gigs right now?
Right now, I've gone from zero to about four in the last few months.
That's fantastic. That's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you're talking about paid speaking gigs. Did you say that, or did I miss that? Or
Yeah.
yeah, paid speaking
Hmm.
gigs.
Hmm.
Um, and so I think the obvious first choice is to start doing some. If you can't get paid ones right now, then offer to do it for free.
Hmm.
Doing the free ones until you've got 10 or 12 under your belt, and you get some good video. Are you getting good video?
I'm still waiting on some video. None of my speaking engagements have like really, really good video, and I'm still
Okay.
waiting on video from one. Um, so we'll see if it's good or not. I hope it's good.
Well, you know what I'll tell you is I would put a speaker demo together with whatever footage you have, because what I find is a lot of times they don't even watch that stuff anyway. So
Yeah.
it's funny, but just having it will help. So I think the first step will be doing that. Have you checked into what you need to do to submit to do a TED Talk?
I haven't. I've taken like I've gone onto their website and I
Hmm.
started to glance at it, but then I just kind of my eyes gloss over and I go on to
Okay.
something else
All
because
right.
it's like, it's like a big deal.
Yeah.
It feels like a
Well,
big deal.
it does. Believe me, it was an amazing experience, and I'm still sort of like, wow, that's pretty awesome. So one thing I would think about is just at least finding out what you have to do. You don't have to go through the process of actually doing it yet if you don't feel like you're ready, but and every TEDx is different, because I've seen some that had this really difficult, like I would call it kind of a difficult submission process. You throw in your idea and then you got to
Oh,
show
hi.
up and,
Hi, Stephanie.
hey,
Stephanie's here.
Stephanie. Um, and then there's some that are really easy, like for TEDx that I did, like they actually recruited me. So, I mean, I didn't even have to go through a submission process. I did have to jump through a few hoops once they selected me and then said, well, we want to make sure. And then so I had to go through some stuff, but, and you don't have to go do for one in your area either.
Right.
So you could do it anywhere. So, I mean, I don't know. I might just write down a number like 5. I'm going to check into 5 different ones. And at this point, maybe you want to look for the easiest one to submit to, or maybe you want to submit to all 5. You know?
Cool.
But I think the first part would just be to find out what you have to do to submit.
Right.
And get some video on those things. And, you know, as far as like the speaking gigs, I have been so honestly, Victoria, I've been so fortunate in my life. I've never had to do a free talk.
Yeah.
Because I have this background in doing acting and everything. Except the TEDx, you don't get paid for that. And so I'm pretty lucky in that way. So that may not be the best topic because I'm just telling you things that I've heard because I didn't have to do any of those things.
Right.
Basically, I sent out, you know, I was approached by people, or I just submitted. I said, hey, look, you know, this is my talk, and do you want it? And then they said yes or no.
Cool.
And I charged. Yeah.
Cool.
So you could do that too. I mean, why not? You have years of experience. You're a hypnotherapist. That's one of the great things about being a hypnotist, a hypnotherapist. That gives you a title that has some credibility to it.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
coupled with my law of attraction stuff and
you know, so forget what I said, all that other stuff. I mean, the TEDx part, keep that. You know what? Forget it. Start submitting. You know, pick out a few companies or something, and just, hey, you know, this is my topic, and write out a little synopsis of what it is, and the big thing is what they will get from it. This is what your employees or your organization will get from it,
right?
And just go for it. And you could still be going for the non-paid speaking gigs as well, but why not shoot for the moon? Get paid.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I will take those steps toward that goal. Thank you.
Yeah. And don't do it for less than $1,000.
Yeah. You know, that was the interesting thing. I didn't know what to charge the very first one. The very first speaking engagement that I did do, it was for $1,000. And
nice.
it was I was flown into San Francisco, and it was one of my clients, and you know, wanted to have me speak to his group, you know, and his group of realtors, and I you know, I didn't even know what to charge, so I looked it up. I'm like, how much am I supposed to charge, you know, and let me get back to you.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. But, you know, I haven't pursued any more like that particular one. So, you know, definitely would like to. Yeah. Don't do it less for 5K, Stephanie says.
You know what? Actually,
that's what it said to charge. But I was like, there's no way I could charge 5K for this thing. I've never done it before.
You know, honestly, I have that. So I think that's a thing that we have to get through. I'll tell you, it's so funny because like my first one, I charged $1,000, and I thought, and that was only because I had a coach that was like, you got to charge at least $1,000 or they won't take you seriously. And I have a colleague now that charges like $300 for speaking engagements, and I'm like, you can't. You're past that because she's been doing Toastmasters for years and she's got a lot of knowledge and everything. So $300 would be fine for somebody who doesn't have any experience, but that's not enough for somebody who has experience. And it's funny because I just had a colleague of mine, a stage hypnotist, who told me he watched the TEDx, and he said,
"Hey, Rami,
you should look into doing keynote speaking." And he said, agents won't even take you seriously unless you're charging $7,500 or more. And I was like, oh. What? What?
Wow.
So I think that one of the things, and this is what I found out with my stage hypnosis too, is that, you know, I've raised my rates because I used to charge way too little, and I used to take these bar gigs that were just crap money and stuff, and I'm not gonna do that anymore. And what I found is, so you know what, I lose some gigs, but there's other things that if I'm only going to get $300 for something, I would rather work on my business. You know, I would rather work on creating a product, or, you know, create some more CDs to sell, or, you know, whatever, than go all that hassle and everything. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, good tips for that.
You might, and you know what, you might even, since you've already had experience with the real estate, you might have to just go after that market.
I wonder about that. I keep thinking, I mean, there's so many realtors, and I mean, exactly what we talk about is, helping people with their business success and helping people, with their positive thinking and their motivation and their discipline. I mean, their
Yeah,
self-confidence. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can go with that market. So I
absolutely.
definitely
Yeah.
time cost versus experience. Tiffany says, great points. Yes,
I know.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh,
Feel free to
I
ask.
see. Oh,
Oh,
I
are
didn't know we
you?
were getting comments over here. I'm just now seeing them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
So Stephanie,
Thanks,
Stephanie
Stephanie.
says
Yeah.
that's a great market to go after. Okay, I'm dying to ask you a question
All right.
because recently you have been using this hashtag in a lot of your posts, the damn I'm pretty. All right.
Yeah.
And so how did you get this label, damn I'm pretty? You're drinking out of it. Why do you say that? And how did it get started? And what's the story with that?
I started saying it. I heard somebody say it years ago. It was an old roommate said something like we were going out for the night or something. He said something like that, and I was just like, "What, weirdo?" And then for some reason, I don't know. I was on stage, and I don't remember exactly how it came about, but I was 270 pounds, and I did not feel pretty, believe me. But I would say I just started saying it. Damn, I'm pretty. And people laughed, and so as a comic, of course, you go, great. As a comic, you go, they laughed. Oh, I'll say it again. And what I found was, the more I said it, and I started saying it to myself too, I just walk around, damn, I'm pretty. Look in the mirror, damn, I'm pretty, as a joke, and but I started feeling better about myself, and I
Ooh,
started feeling
yeah.
more confident,
It's
and
like a
it's
positive affirmation.
totally is, yeah. And the thing is that I love about it is because it's funny, and so as we know, things that are funny make it stick in your head more, um, and um, and it's so funny because now I get messages from people. I literally get messages in Facebook and social media and emails and stuff from people that go, you know what? I started saying that and I feel better about myself. And I was like, fantastic. And
I'm good
and
enough. I'm smart enough, and doggone
exactly,
it,
that's right,
damn, I'm pretty.
exactly. And I remember there was this one woman. She commented one time when I was saying, just say it. Damn, I'm pretty. And she literally said, I can't say it. And I was like, oh, she couldn't say it. I said, just try it. It makes me want to just tear up now. But
Oh,
really, it's people feel so
did you get
terrible
her
about
to say it?
themselves.
Did you
I
get
don't
her?
know. You know what? I got to I wrote down her name somewhere, but I don't know where it is now, so I can't follow up with her. But I hope that she's able to say it because here's the thing. This is something with affirmations, and people need to understand this. You don't have to believe it. You can lie to you, and that's what she said. I don't want to lie to myself. Lie to yourself. You've been lying to yourself for years. You've been saying that you're a piece of crap, that you're stupid, that you can't do anything, and those things are all wrong. So you've lied to yourself for years. You can start lying in a positive way. And like Louise Hay says, I can't remember exactly how she worded it, but she says, what you're doing is you're planting a seed. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a potato yet, but you're
Right.
planting the potato seed. It's no less a potato. It's just the seed of the potato.
Right.
So think about it
I mean,
like that.
you tell yourself something long enough, you're going to believe it.
You will, and we know this with children, right? And I don't know why we don't seem to get it for ourselves. We know if you set a kid, if you tell a kid every day you're a piece of crap, you're stupid, and all this stuff, they're going to believe it, right? Everybody, it's the
Yep.
same thing for us. But we may be a little more resistant. Fake it till you make it. Absolutely. Thanks, Tiffany. We may be a little bit more resistant because we're adults and we're not as malleable, but it'll sink in. I mean, I lived most of my life with such zero confidence. I felt like crap about myself. I thought I was ugly and stupid and would never amount to anything. I wanted to write a book called Diary of a Loser. I mean, really, I hated myself. And really just through affirmations and hypnotherapy and working on myself, and also accomplishing some things, just making those little steps will
Yeah.
just boost your confidence. And the more you boost your confidence, the more successful you'll be. you know?
So
So it's
true. I'm reading currently The
what's that?
Power of I Am.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it's about it's by R.J. Banks.
Uh-huh.
And it's all, great affirmations, and it's all about this whole I am, which has like biblical beginnings, but I'm not like religious or anything, but I don't mind hearing things, that it has like biblical beginnings. This whole I am thing, anything that comes after I am, um, is it's like 10 times more powerful, to say it that way. So I'm pretty, damn, I'm pretty is it's a wonderful way to state that, that affirmation. And,
Hmm.
one of the things that I have started to get in touch with about affirmations is I think it's good, it's powerful to make affirmations about states that you want to be in, rather than, I think there's a distinction between states you want to be in and things that you have. Like if you say that, I have $1 million in the bank and you don't, well, what state would you need to be in order for that to be true?
Mm, yeah.
I'm abundant, I am a great manifester, so that's something I've been kind of toying around with, this idea of using affirmations for the states that you would be in, not necessarily for the things that you have,
Hmm. Yeah.
if that
Makes
makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Um, so that, because if you're abundant, then you're able to create, all the abundance in anything that you desire.
Absolutely. Yeah. That makes sense. I like that.
Let's see here. What is yeah, Stephanie said she loves that. Romy said, is it Rami or Romy? Please tell me, because she's a member, and
Uh-huh.
I've always Romy or Rami, and I've never actually gotten the pronunciation on that. So please let me know if it's raw or row. Affirmation or affirmation. um, well, there's affirmations, and then are you familiar with affirmations? Like
I'm not.
affirmations. Oh gosh, I know what they are, but
Tell us what it is,
um,
Romy.
yeah, tell us what it is, because I know what they are, but the definition is escaping me at the moment. I think it has something to do first.
Romy.
Affirmation. Okay. Romy. Okay, so it's Romy. Oh, Romy. Good. Okay.
I think so.
Awesome.
Ah, yes. Oh, yep. Romy. All right.
Awesome.
Hey, thanks
So
for your
let's,
great comments, everybody. Tiffany said some
yeah.
nice stuff. So did Stephanie. I love that. What you said. Damn, I'm a hot mamacita. That's fun.
Damn, I'm a hot mamacita. I love it. Let's show that one. Let's see. Wow, is that amazing to see how far you've come and what you've accomplished? Well, speaking of how far you've come and what you've already accomplished, what do you see for yourself going forward in the future?
I really do I sort of see myself moving more into speaking gigs. I love doing individual hypnotherapy, but I really want to reach as many people as possible. I want to be able to just reach as many people as possible for a variety of reasons. And I think that I've got some messages that can really benefit a lot of people. And it's working one-on-one, it's a little tougher to get all that out there to everybody. And I see myself as the funny Anthony Robbins. That's where I want to be. I love Anthony Robbins. He's so intense. I'd like to have a little bit more lighthearted approach to it.
Yeah.
Although it's tough, I'll tell you, there's a tough thing about it, because when, in fact, people will say this sometimes. Well, how can you be funny and still help people? What? it's
That's
it's it's a tough
It's a
thing.
great way to help people, I
I
think.
think
I
so
mean,
too. But
laughter
some
is
people,
so healing.
right. Yeah. And I used to struggle with this. I used to have, because I have two business pages. Well, I have a variety of business pages, but for my hypnosis stuff, I have the stage hypnotist and I have hypnotherapist. And I try to keep all the funny stuff. I was like, I got to keep them separate. All the helpful stuff on one page and all the and I was just like, this is ridiculous. And I saw, and I was thinking too, I saw the Dalai Lama in an interview, and he was laughing. And I was like, every single time I see him in an interview, he's laughing.
He is.
This is a highly spiritual, wise man, and he's laughing. He's having fun. He's making jokes. I'm just me. Surely I can make some jokes, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, laughter it's so important. If we don't laugh, I mean, laughing, like actually it increases certain, peptides, neuropeptides in our body, the chemicals, the feel-good chemicals that we need in order to be happy. So, it's very healing. It's very,
Yeah.
I think laughing is very spiritual.
Yeah.
Definitely people need to do more of it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think you could easily cross wire put your helpful thoughts on your laughing page and put your
right. I do now. Yeah. I tried to combine them, but then it looked like I was going to lose. I wasn't sure how it was. I was afraid I was going to lose it all. And I was just like, forget it.
right.
Asshole.
Right. All right. Well, let's see here. Mede wanted to know if you have a story to share with us that you could share without breaking any confidentiality that's wacky or weird or fascinating or funny. Do you have anything come to mind? Sometimes it's hard to tap into these because, we sort of open and close, these sessions.
I have a few that stand out. I think the quickest one I'll tell you about is I had a woman one time who came in and for hypnotherapy, and she wanted to take off weight, and she wanted to start exercising more. And she said, I hate exercise. And here's the thing too, is I think that we have a lot of people have this negative connotation about exercise. And I think for a lot of people, it got locked in back when they were a kid. And
had to go to PE.
Yeah, and you do PE. And here's the thing, kids develop at different rates. So you may have been a klutz and really unathletic and everything, but nobody's gonna judge you like that anymore. You know what I mean? So it's a totally different experience. I say I try to call it activity. Let's not call it exercise. Let's call it activity. But she wanted to engage in more physical activity, and so we did the hypnotherapy session. She comes back in a month, and I go, so how's it? So how's the exercise coming along? She goes, oh my gosh, Jim. She goes, my exercise bike talks to me now. It says, come ride me. Come ride me.
Right me. I love it.
Yeah. So as hypnotherapy works different for everybody because I've been doing hypnosis for years and I've never had any exercise equipment talk to me. So
right. Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I had this idea my whole life up until I don't know about 12 years ago. But up until then, I just made a decision I didn't like to run. I didn't know why I didn't like to run, but I just made a decision that I didn't like to run. Not that I ever did it or tried it. And one day, my husband,
right?
Yeah, my husband was trying to get me to run. I'm like, I don't run. And he's like, how do you know? So one day, of course, in all the dieting and exercising that I was doing, I was going out for these 20-minute walks. And I decided I'm going to run for 1 minute every 5 minutes, just 1 minute every 5 minutes. And then I was going to run for 2 and then 3. And then all of a sudden I could run 20 minutes and then I could run 30 minutes. And then I decided I was going to run a 5K. And so I ran a 5K. And as soon as I ran the 5K, I decided I was going to run a marathon. And so I became a runner. It was like somehow or another, and that's kind of like what you're going back to what you're talking about with the steps. You know, you don't need to tell yourself, I'm going to run a marathon, but you can just tell yourself, I'm going to run 1 minute today.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
1 minute and then 2 minutes and 3 minutes, and just take it. You know, like you make these infinitesimally, did I say that word right? Small agreements with yourself that you keep, and it builds your self-confidence, and it builds on, you know, and gets you ultimately to, you know, to something huge.
It does.
You don't have to take it on all at once.
You don't. And gosh, I wish I could get people to understand that, you know, you don't have to do it all at once. And most people are unsuccessful. So here's the thing. This is the thing though, Victoria, is like, we'll hear about these people that do these remarkable things that, whatever, they take off, 30 pounds in a month, and all of a sudden they're doing all this and everything. But those are so rare. That's why we hear about them.
Right.
Nobody writes an article about the person who jogged for a minute and then walked for 5. Right? Nobody's going to do it. No, CNN's not going to come out and interview for that, right?
Right.
So every once in a while, somebody does these magnificent things, these huge things, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I should be able to do that too." No, you sabotage yourself. It happens almost all the time. At least 90% of the time, you sabotage yourself. Because I've worked with clients with this. I'll tell them, I don't recommend it, but if that's what you want to do, you want to go try to run for 30 minutes at once, go ahead. They come back and go, "You're right."
Right.
I'll stick for 5 minutes,
Definitely. Well, this has been really fun, really enlightening. I'm glad we finally got together to talk. I know we've been talking about talking for a while, but we've taken baby steps to get here. And so, do you have any, and anything that you want to leave our audience with? Anything that you want them to do? Any websites that they should visit? Any your page, and I'll definitely, you can leave them in the comments so that they can click over there, or any last piece of wisdom or advice that you want to just kind of leave people with?
And let's answer this question real quick. We got a question here. Can a hypnotherapist make somebody bark like a dog? So I'll say for the record, as a stage hypnotist, I've literally never made anyone bark like a dog because there's way more fun things to do.
Like meow like a cat.
Right, exactly. But here's the thing, and people ask you, are you going to make me bark like a dog? Well, if it helped you quit smoking, absolutely. But it won't. So my belief is that the unconscious mind would block that. They'd go, no, that doesn't make any sense to this. So I don't think so. What do you think? What do you think, Victoria?
Can hypnosis make you
bark like a dog?
I mean, they can, but the thing is that you have to have the willingness to want to bark like a dog in the first place. And that's the thing. When you do more stage, and I've been in a stage show a couple of times, like been hypnotized in stage shows. So, it's, you feel compelled to do it. Like you wouldn't just do it, but you feel compelled to do it if somebody asks you to do it. But you have complete free will also to reject the suggestions. And so, you don't want to do things, maybe some stage hypnotists do, but you don't want to do things with, you want to keep it funny, but you don't want people to go away feeling like worse about themselves than, than before they got there. So
it's interesting. There was a Mythbusters on. Did you see the Mythbusters episode where they did hypnosis?
I didn't. When was this?
Oh, it's great. It's years ago. There's a clip on YouTube.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about. I was thinking of something recently, but a long time ago.
Yeah, they did. So they did some stuff where they got people to remember stuff from an incident, but then they took one of the guys and they gave him some suggestions to, I don't remember what it was, but it was something silly, and it was funny. He didn't do it, but afterwards they asked him about it. And he goes, "You know what? I felt really strongly to do it, but I wouldn't let myself do it." So he was compelled.
Right.
But anyway, so what you're asking me, so if you want to reach out to me, I'll tell you really the easiest thing, because nobody can ever spell my last name right. You can just go to damnimpretty.com, and that's that'll take you to my website. And
Damnimpretty.com. Okay. I love it. That makes it easy.
Right? Yeah, people always, because people either put one L or they put no N, and so I was like, hey, I'm just get damnimpretty.com. So
I need to come up with an.
Yeah.
Rami just asked while we're talking here. She said, "How can I love the nasty belly fat after my car accident?" I'm so sorry about your car accident.
Yeah, me too. What are your thoughts, Victoria?
How can I love? Well, first of all, you have to, the first thing is really having an acceptance that it's there. That's a very, very first step to loving is just acknowledging and saying, I have this. It's part of me. I own it. I appreciate, every inch of my body, realizing that no one is perfect. We all have our flaws, and we're way harder on ourselves than most people see us. Other people might look at it and not feel nearly as bad about it as you do. So that's a very first step, is just accepting, acknowledging, and making a choice to love it. Going inside and I mean, thinking of yourself as a little girl, a little spirit, and just like you're the mother, and you're loving your spirit, your child, and just you would never speak to a child the way that you speak to yourself. I mean, just like what you just said there. How can I love the nasty belly fat? I mean, would you say to your child, if you had a child, you have nasty belly fat? So we want to change the words that we use and just, say, hey, I've, got a little belly fat and it's cute. And you can reframe that. You can say it's cute, and I'm working on making it different, making it better. And, but that's, those are a couple of my tips. I hope that helps you.
Yeah, unfortunately, she said she actually she corrected it and then said, "How would you lose it?" But I love your answer for the loving it too, because I think here's one of the things, because
loving it will help you lose it.
It will. Here's the thing, because clients sometimes, I'll say, like one of the things that I'll use in the hypnosis is an affirmation. I love myself. I respect myself. I'm beneath no one. And I've had clients go, I don't love myself. I'll love myself when I lose 50 pounds.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Love yourself now and be open to loving yourself then too. But as far as the losing weight, hypnotherapy, of course, Romy, come on.
Right? Yeah. Let's cut to the chase.
But I'll tell you, that's what I did. When I took off the weight, I did use hypnosis. I used hypnotherapy recordings, and I'm very analytical, so it's a little tougher for me to accept suggestions. I had to listen to them every single day. You'll get a lot quicker results probably if you go to hypnotherapist, because it's tailored to you. Mm-hmm. But so I listen to hypnotherapy recordings every day. And then I also, this is pathetic, but this is what I started with. I made a commitment. I'm going to meditate for 2 minutes a day. I'm going to exercise for 5 minutes a day, and I'm going to eat 2 fruits or vegetables. That's it. That's what I started with. I did that for the first week or two, and when that became really easy, boom, I raised it up. Now I'm going to have 3 fruits or vegetables. I'm going to meditate for 3 minutes, and if you're out there going, well, I can't meditate because I can't clear my mind for 20 minutes, you don't have to. Nobody can. You'll get better at it. Believe me. Just sit there quietly, and it'll come. Because what I find with meditation, here's the thing, you probably know this. If you look at interviews with so many famous people, they all meditate.
Yes.
They all meditate. All these people that are really successful. And also it helps you to be better at everything else. When I'm meditating regularly, I make a lot better choices in life as far as food, exercise, commitment to other things and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not about clearing your mind. And it's impossible to clear your mind.
It is.
I've been to 2 10-day silent meditation retreats where
Oh, you've done, is that the,
Vipassana. Yeah.
oh, I've been wanting to do that for years.
Yeah, I did last year. And then I made a commitment to meditate every day, even if it's 5 minutes. I mean, I try to go, half hour, try to go twice a day. But, I sometimes I've been like 11:45 at night. It's like, okay, got to get my meditation going. But, that's 200 hours of meditation divided by 2 different trips. And not once did I ever clear my mind. I mean, it's an awareness of your consciousness. It's just, and you witness those little silences, between the words. But it's you're never going to clear your mind. So you just got to get past that.
Right.
Right. So, so that's, let's see, what did Tiffany say? So true. It seems like the key is awareness of what our minds are doing, which meditation definitely helps with. Yes, definitely. And Romy does meditation. And so, she's going to talk better to herself and her inner child, and talk to her belly better. So, so say it again.
I was going to say, start saying, damn, I'm pretty.
Exactly. If we could all just say, damn, I'm pretty, we could, feel, much, much better, about our lives. And, it is about this, also kind of like detaching, from the end result. Detachment doesn't mean like you don't care about it or you give up, but it just means like you're not so fearful that, it's, that you're not where you are wanting to be right now.
I say set the goal and then just take your small actions every day. It's
exactly.
The actions are what's important. If you keep taking regular, consistent action, you're going to reach at least a different level. You may not reach that goal. You may not become a ballerina at 40. Who knows? But you can achieve a lot more than if you hadn't.
Absolutely. Yeah. Small, consistent actions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And say you're damn, I'm pretty every day.
That's right.
All right. Well, you guys, it's been fun having you on here. And for those who are watching in the replay, be sure to also leave a comment for us and just let us know you're watching the replay. And make sure you go and check out Jim's website, damnI'mPretty.com. Jim, it has been a pleasure. Can you believe we've been on for like over an hour?
Wow,
I don't know where the time goes.
I know. Yeah.
But I know everyone got value out of being here, and everyone take those small actions toward your dream, toward your goal, and you will be going in the direction that you need to go into to achieve. You can achieve amazing things. You can do it. It's why you came here.
Yeah. Thanks for all the nice comments, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Romy. And thank you all who are watching in the replay. And thank you all who watched before. We also had Mete and let's see, who else was here? Margaret and Peter and Kareen. Thank you guys all so much for being here. And thank you, Jim, my special guest, for being here. And everyone have a wonderful, fabulous rest of their evening or day or whatever time it is there where you're watching.
Right. Sounds good.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank
Victoria.
you. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast.